First up, the UFC 326 card is under fire. Veteran commentator Dan Hardy is questioning the pay-per-view quality, saying it just doesn't look like a PPV card, and highlighting specific matchups like Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson as the only real fireworks fight on the bill. We've got the breakdown on why the lineup is facing such intense scrutiny just days before the event. Next, get this. The UFC is planning an event at the White House on June 14th for American Independence Day celebrations. Promoted by Donald Trump, this unprecedented fight card is set to cost a staggering $60 million, with TKO Group Holdings aiming to cover half through sponsorships. Dana White insists no taxpayer money will be used for this historic, politically charged spectacle. We're breaking down the details of this mind-blowing plan. Then, a new star is born in the flyweight division. Lone'er Kavanagh just pulled off a massive upset against former champion Brandon Moreno at UFC Mexico, showcasing incredible striking and defense. This win vaults him into the top contender conversation, and we're looking at who's next for this rapidly rising force and other must-see fights coming out of Mexico City. Finally, we've got the full scoop on UFC 326, the start times, the complete fight card, and exactly how you can watch all the action, whether you're in the UK or the US. From the main event rematch between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira to the prelims, we've got you covered. Don't miss a single second. Hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our exclusive fight content.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
UFC 326's pay-per-view worth questioned by Dan Hardy. The upcoming UFC 326 event is facing criticism over its perceived lack of depth and star power, with veteran commentator Dan Hardy publicly questioning if the lineup warrants a pay-per-view price tag. While the main event features a highly anticipated rematch between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira for the BMF title, Hardy pointed out that no undisputed UFC championships are on the line, and many of the supporting bouts lack significant stakes. Hardy specifically highlighted the Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson fight as a potential fireworks bout due to both fighters' aggressive styles and tendency for risky decisions. However, he expressed reservations about other matchups, noting that fighters like Rob Font are once again in gatekeeper roles against emerging talent. The co-main event, featuring Caio Borralho against Reinier de Ridder, also comes under scrutiny as both middleweights are coming off losses. Hardy's assessment suggests that, outside of the main event, the card might not deliver the excitement typically associated with a pay-per-view offering, especially for international markets where PPV costs are still a factor. The UFC's recent lucrative deal with Paramount for its streaming service, Paramount Plus, means there's less financial pressure to ensure every card is a must-see spectacle. This could lead to more events like UFC 326, where the focus is less on a stacked lineup and more on fulfilling broadcast obligations. Despite these criticisms, the Holloway versus Oliveira rematch is undeniably a major draw, harkening back to their initial bout in 2015, which was cut short by injury. Hardy acknowledged the intrigue of this rematch, noting how both fighters have evolved significantly since their first encounter. Public reaction has been mixed, with many fans echoing Hardy's sentiments about the card's depth, while others remain excited for the main event and the potential for unexpected performances from the undercard fighters. Analysts suggest this card may be a sign of future UFC event structures, prioritizing high-profile headliners over a consistently deep roster of compelling fights throughout the night. But is this the future of UFC events, or just a blip on the radar? Stay tuned as we break down a plan that could literally take the UFC to the White House. White House to host historic UFC event for Independence Day. The UFC is set to make combat sports history by hosting a fight card on June 14th on the South Lawn of the White House, coinciding with the 250th anniversary of American independence. This unprecedented event, reportedly promoted by Donald Trump, marks a significant intersection of sports, politics, and national celebration. The estimated cost for this extraordinary event is a staggering $60 million, according to Mark Shapiro, president of TKO Group Holdings. The company plans to recoup approximately half of this investment through corporate partnerships and sponsorships, expressing confidence in securing around $30 million in business-to-business deals. While the event is not expected to be directly profitable, its primary objectives are clearly global exposure, enhanced brand positioning, and creating a historic moment, rather than immediate financial returns. Addressing immediate concerns about the use of public funds, UFC President Dana White has emphatically stated that no taxpayer money will be utilized. The organization will bear the full financial responsibility for the event. White has drawn parallels to the scale of recent productions like the Sphere event, suggesting the White House card could be even more spectacular. The official fight card has not yet been announced, but it is expected to feature major bouts, special fighter presentations, and unique fan-focused activities throughout the weekend. This landmark event carries immense symbolic weight, blending the intensity of MMA with the iconic backdrop of the White House. The decision to host such an event at this location has ignited widespread discussion among fans and analysts, with many speculating about the potential political implications and the unique atmosphere it will create. The anticipation is building not only for the fights themselves, but for the historic nature of the venue. Could this historic event be topped by the emergence of a new flyweight king? We're heading to Mexico City for a breakdown of stunning upsets and rising stars. Lone'er Kavanagh ascends to contender status after upsetting Brandon Moreno. Lone'er Kavanagh has dramatically altered his career trajectory with a dominant decision victory over former UFC flyweight champion Brandon Moreno at UFC Mexico. Taking the fight on short notice after an injury to Moreno's original opponent, Kavanagh delivered a career-defining performance, showcasing sharp striking and formidable takedown defense to defeat the sixth-ranked contender. This significant win propels Kavanagh into the upper echelons of the flyweight division. While a title shot against champion Joshua Van is unlikely in the immediate future, with Tatsuro Otera already slated for a fall challenge, Kavanagh is poised for a substantial climb into the top 10. His victory over the highly experienced Moreno signals his readiness for tougher challenges and positions him as a legitimate threat in the division. Beyond Kavanagh's impressive showing, the UFC Mexico card delivered other compelling performances. Rising bantamweight David Martinez secured a major win over former title challenger Marlon Chito Vera, extending his win streak to 10. Lightweight veteran King Green stunned fans with a second-round knockout against Daniel Zellhuber, calling out Michael Chandler for the potential White House event. In the women's bantamweight division, Aylin Perez continued her winning streak, setting up a potential future clash with fellow top contender Norma Dumont. The performances in Mexico City have generated considerable buzz, with fans and analysts debating the future matchups for these emerging and established talents. Kavanagh's upset win, in particular, has energized the flyweight division, creating new possibilities and exciting potential rivalries. The performances solidify the growing talent pool within the UFC's lower weight classes. But before we look too far ahead, let's get you all the details for the very next UFC event. Get ready for UFC 326 with start times, the full fight card, and how to watch. UFC 326, full fight card, start times, and how to watch. Get ready for UFC 326, set to take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas this Saturday, March 7th. The event is headlined by a highly anticipated rematch for the BMF title between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira, with the preliminary card featuring a host of intriguing matchups. For fans in the UK, the early prelims kick off at 10 p.m. GMT, followed by the regular prelims at 12 a.m. GMT on Sunday. The main card is scheduled to begin at 2 a.m. GMT on Sunday. In the US, the action starts earlier on Saturday, with early prelims at 2 p.m. PT/5 p.m. ET, regular prelims at 7 p.m. ET, and the main card commencing at 9 p.m. ET. Viewers in the UK can catch the main card live on TNT Sports and can stream it via Discovery Plus, EETV, Virgin Media, Amazon Prime Video, and Sky Sports. The prelims will be available on UFC Fight Pass. For those in the US, Paramount Plus will stream the entire event, with CBS broadcasting the final hour of the regular prelims and the first hour of the main card. The full fight card includes: Main card: Max Holloway vs. Charles Oliveira 2, BMF title; Caio Borralho vs. Reinier de Ridder; Rob Font vs. Raul Roses Jr.; Drew Dober vs. Michael Johnson; Gregory Rodriguez vs. Bruno Ferreira. Prelims: Cody Garbrandt vs. Zaya Olong; Daunt Johnson vs. Dusko Todorovic; Ricky Tercios vs. Alberto Montes; Cody Durden vs. Nyamjargal Tumindemberal. Early prelims: Sumuderji vs. Jesus Aguilar; Ju Sangyu vs. Gaston Bolanos; Luke Fernandez vs. Rodolfo Bellato. Fans worldwide are gearing up for a night of exciting fights, with particular interest in the Holloway-Oliveira rematch and the potential for upsets throughout the card. The broadcast details ensure that fans across different regions can tune in to witness the action unfold. That's all the fight news for today. But don't go anywhere, we've got a lightning round recap coming up next. What a show! We saw Dan Hardy question UFC 326's PPV quality, but also a historic White House fight card planned for Independence Day. Plus, Lone'er Kavanagh shocked the world by upsetting Brandon Moreno in Mexico, and we've got you covered with all the UFC 326 fight details. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment below telling us your predictions. Follow us on all social media platforms for even more fight content.